So in your resume, and also I think initial rounds, they do ask you question on your resume itself, right? Like for example, if you've shown a past work ex that is relevant to this role, they do ask questions on what did you do, what did you do there, and what was your role, what was your impact outside of a collective team impact. So to demonstrate a fit, you should highlight your own achievements within the team, also quantify everything, and also be prepared for any questions that come your way, like how did you achieve something you've written on your resume. Then you should, sometimes it you could have a little confusing indications where you have a mix of work ex, where maybe from finance you went to a different domain, and now you're trying for finance roles again. So you should actually like be prepared with a good flow, a storyline on how it aligns, how your past work ex does align, or how your past academics do align with where you want to get. And yeah, like you should, for example, if you mention any course like top grade in costing, you should be prepared and ready to answer questions on these, because I think buddy rounds are taken up by someone maybe just passed out 3 4 years, 3 4 years earlier. So they might remember few of these courses that you all have written. So maybe it's good to go through those again in case you've mentioned any course or any certification. Like for example, if you mentioned CFA, then you could expect a few questions there. um, but other than preparing for your own resume, other things that you should also know about is like what sectors, what industry does the firm work in, and then what kind of deals do they do. Like for example, if it's an investment banking firm, and within them they have various teams for different sectors. So you should at least know one deal that they have done, like one or two, or you should at least know a few deals that are going on in the sectors they are tracking. And if during buddy calls they always ask, right, like do you have any doubts regarding this role, the team should always try to ask, at least ask uh, at least one question, or clear any doubt that you have. And no, other than that, like at least these roles that IB, PEVC, a lot of their deals do come in the paper. They do announce it even on their website. So you shouldn't be unaware of any deal that they are on. And if you ask, if they ask you, are you tracking any industry, you should know within that which, like have they closed any deal within that, or no, at least any, if there's a very large merger going on in the industry you said you're tracking, you should know that, like I wouldn't say know it in and out, but at least know what's going on, where is it reached till, or something like that. And if so if it's a market role, and if it's a particular asset, a class, or a particular desk that the role is for example, like if it's the fixed income desk for a sales role in markets. So you should actually be very thorough even with the mathematics of it. Like for example, you should know option pricing, or at least technicals of it. Like, not, I won't say like um, know how Black-Scholes is derived, but at least like know what is it. So if the role has, they have mentioned the sectors, or they have mentioned the asset class, be ready to answer technical questions on it, at least the formula based or valuation based, pricing based ones. And be ready to at least answer one round of questioning after that, on why is this priced in this way, those ones. And then during the all the rounds won't be technical always, even though these are finance roles. They do ask you on macro events, like for example, okay, this is an old one, NBFC, but for example, recently, like you should be knowing, like the Fed tapering, or what is the recent inflation data that has been out, what are the numbers there, or for example, like any, they would ask you any thoughts on the Evergrande issue, all of those, like you should be at least the most like top macro news, you can't afford to miss out on, at least like knowing what is going on. You might not know like in depth of it, but you can't not know, like for example, if there was a monetary policy announcement just a few days before, your buddy call or something, it might be talked, you might be questioned on that during the buddy call. So keep yourself up with um, uh, any RBI announcements, any numbers that are out, like GDP number, inflation number, any changes in repo rate, reverse repo, all of that is also something you should track. And you can track that in, Mint, or CNBC hours. You can listen to that every day, something like that. And then yeah, basics of macroeconomics, like um, if inflation goes up, what happens to bond prices, what happens to yields. Those questions, I guess, is something you can expect in a markets role. And for investment banking, you can expect some classic small questions, like if I give you cash flows of the next 10 years, how will you value a company, or something like that. Like smaller questions on valuation is also something you can expect on buddy call. And then basic of not just equity, debt, or a valuation of any role that you're applying to. For example, in markets, a lot of valuation questions revolve around, if it's equity, then equity valuation, or if it's a fixed income, then yes, like how would you value a bond, how will you value a perpetual bond, how will you price maybe vanilla call option. At least those questions you should be ready with during the buddy calls, because those are shorter questions. Maybe in the interview is something you can face a full-fledged valuation round.